Hello, and welcome to Dear Future Grandkids, the sports edition. I'm so happy to have you here with me this afternoon, and I'm very excited to bring you this little side project from Dear Future Grandkids. Welcome back to our regular viewers, Kawaii Donna and the rest, and Bree. Don't adjust your screens because the truth is, Ange and Percy could not wait to ditch me, so here I am, all alone by myself. There you go. She's the first to comment, and she goes, she gets to be a viewer. That's all she ever wanted to do when it comes to Dear Future Grandkids. But you know what? The sports edition, I've always loved sport. I always loved playing sport. Back in primary school, I played lots of tennis, squash, badminton, football as well. Then I got quite serious in tennis. Played, I assume, quite a good level. And till today, I play a club level as well. And back in my presenting days, I presented for ESPN Star Sports with the English Premier League magazine shows, tennis, the NBA. I did about golf and also lots of Asian football. And then I did 3 years in Singapore with an English Premier League magazine show, covered Formula One for many years as well. So sports just in my blood. I impart it to my kids. I love it so much. So here we are. And also, it's amazing because I get to co-create a show where we hope to talk to interesting, accomplished names in sport. And this has always been a dream of mine. And you know what? In true Dear Future Grandkids fashion, we're going to, go more to the personal side. And then we're going to ask the big question. Now, what would you say to your future grandkids or your future sports star? Okay, so I'm really excited. So let's do the intro for our very first guest. Now, he's spent 11 years playing professional football, 6 years in Croatia and 5 years in Singapore, and then he moved on to coaching, starting with my team UPB FC and continuing on to coach the Malaysian under-20 national team, and he led the boys to just amazing victories, ultimately garnering the best result in the history of the Malaysian under-19 at the AFF Championship and thus qualifying for the AFC Asian Championships, an achievement that has been only accomplished for only the second time in 40 years. And it's not just Malaysia and Singapore who have been lucky enough to have him. He's been coaching all over from China to Cambodia, and along the way has been nominated for Coach of the Year 4 times, ultimately winning it in 2021 in Malaysia. He's currently the head coach for Kuala Lumpur City FC, where they won the Malaysia Cup for the first time in 32 years and led them to the finals of the AFC Cup this year. And also on a personal note, I first met our guest way back in the day when I was hosting a football magazine show at a pub back in Malaysia. We did the live matches as well. That's the Euros. I'm not going to tell you what year it is, just to keep it as a surprise of how old we are. He's been fantastic then. He's always fantastic, and I'm sure he is as well right now. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show my good friend, Bojan Hodak.
Hi, Jien.
Bojan, how's it going?
Fine. Whenever I see you, I'm in good mood.
What a lovely thing to say, Bojan. What a lovely thing to say. It's so nice to have you on the show. I've always thought about doing a Dear Future Grandkids Sports Edition, and we're thinking who would be the first guest, a guy who is funny, knowledgeable, and also just one of the best coaches in the game in Asia for sure. And I thought, definitely you. So I'll tell you what, we're going to kick off the show like always with some quick fire questions to get to know you a bit better, okay? You ready for that, Bojan?
Always
Fantastic. Right. How did you get started in football?
Oh, well, I think this was natural things that in Croatia, all kids playing football in a school, after school, in the local club. And this is how I started. There was a local club 5 minutes walking from my building, and this is where I basically joined when I was, I think, 12. And slowly I played football and basketball actually together because my best friend was playing basketball. Then at age of 16, I started to play for the first team, and they were giving some pocket money, something like that. And then I decided to quit basketball and focus on football. This was a good reason.
Pocket money and incentive, and I tell you what, you've obviously made the right decision with how successful you are. So from then on, getting a bit of incentive, bit of payment, and then quitting basketball, playing football against the first team of your local side. Why did you then choose this to be your career, or was it just an accident being a professional footballer then a coach?
I think that this was natural thing because basically I stayed in football. I play slowly. I was signed by better clubs. I was going in the higher leagues, and then it happened that they were paying me more and more, and this was well-paid job. Then suddenly, some more I moved to Singapore, and I think that everything was natural process. Not really that I was deciding. I want to be professional footballer, but this was natural thing.
Fantastic. Well, it's just a natural progression for you from being a professional footballer and then going to the coaching side of it. Well done. So we know based on your career, you've got lots of accomplishment. But what's the one accomplishment you're most proud of? It could be in football, could be in life, could be anything. What's the one accomplishment you're most proud of?
Always all my life is football. I didn't do anything else except playing and coaching football. So maybe this few days ago, this AFC Cup final, maybe this was the highest achievement. And I think that this is something that not many players, coaches can do. So we lost, unfortunately, versus better team. But I think that this was even for Malaysia, for this region, I think that this was a very important moment because I can see that when we entered final, people were calling even from the other countries, from Indonesia, from Vietnam, from Hong Kong. So you can see that this is something important what's happening. So I think that this was, let's say, maybe the highest accomplishment.
Yeah. So that's amazing, and I just want to break it down and put it into context for all our viewers out there who may not know Malaysian football or Asian football as well. So the AFC Cup is the equivalent to the Europa League in Europe. Right, Bojan? Am I correct?
Yeah, something like that.
And for a club like KLFC, who's probably maybe in the top 6 in the Malaysian league, smaller budgets and everything else, playing against massive clubs all over Asia, and to make the final and be so close as well. Now that is an amazing achievement. And basically, Bojan paid me to say that as well, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I will reward you later after the show.
So would you say that is your most memorable career moment so far, or is there something else that's the most memorable in your career?
I think that this is the most memorable part of career because you always look at achievements, so this was the highest achievement.
And of course, we know that sports people are pretty superstitious. If the context of tennis, like Rafa Nadal, who puts the bottles at a certain way and he steps around it, he doesn't step on the lines. Are you superstitious?
Yes, very. I'm very superstitious, and there is some situation somebody will call bizarre, but some situations were funny. Normally, when I start to play one tournament. If we are winning, the clothes that I use at the first game, I will wash, prepare, exactly same socks, t-shirt, shorts, tracksuit, whatever, and I will use it next. So this is the story about the bib in Malaysia Cup. Actually, they give me red t-shirt, which is same color of jersey that Kuala Lumpur is having. So because of that, I need to have a bib on the first game. And that's the reason why I have bib in every game all year. So this was fun, but this was luck. At the end, it's even my players become so superstitious that before the final, Active Sport, that was our sponsor last year, he was giving new T-shirts for warm-up, new T-shirts to go to the final. And the guy said, okay, we will take the T-shirts, but we will not wear them. Because we want to use the same T-shirt, same clothes that we had all arounds before this. So sorry, but they continue, and we won. So it's working.
It works. Your superstition obviously has carried on to your players as well, and I know this. It's even traveled all the way to somewhere like Indonesia in terms of how superstitious you are. So it's not just about wearing the clothes that you wear for the start of a competition and you win the match and then you continue until you lose, right? You go all the way. But you also, is it true to say that you like to, eat at the same place if you're winning? So what happened in Indonesia? Can you share
In
with us?
Indonesia, yeah, this happened 2018 when we won AFF under 19. Basically, in the group stage, we were in Surabaya, and 5 matches in the same hotel. We have food, meetings, everything in the same room. So after we won all matches, and then we enter semi-final, and suddenly we coming for lunch. They changed the room for us. So I went mad, and everybody. I can see the faces of the other people because they know all my assistants, people that were with us, they know what is happening. So they told them, look, don't change, please. But actually, people were nice. They want to give us bigger room because now we are in a semi-final and final. So they told us, no, there is a small wedding party, so they will have lunch there. They booked this much earlier, but you can have a bigger room. So we told them, we don't want big room. I want that room, so you don't want me to sit between groom and bride and having my meeting during their wedding. So at the end, I think they react, and actually they give to wedding party to be in a grand ballroom, and they showed that this is present from hotel, and we went back to our room and won the tournament.
So basically, based on your superstition, and it worked, you won the tournament. You want to have lunch at the same place, a smaller ballroom, even though a wedding was booked a lot earlier. You managed to move the wedding to a bigger venue on site anyway. But you know what? Maybe you're just doing it for the wedding party. You're a nice guy. You just thought they deserve a bigger space.
Yes, I think that that time my fitness coach was very influential because he explained to GM of hotel that we will really be part of the wedding party if he doesn't change things. And I think the GM understands situation and he acted quickly. So it was fun, but at the end, as I said, most important is we won the tournament.
A true blood sportsman, highly motivated, has to do whatever it takes to get the result, and obviously superstition plays a big part of it, and it worked. So now, Bojan, I mean, I've known you for a long time. We're going to pivot and talk about your family, and we know that Malaysia is very dear to your heart because you married a lovely Malaysian girl called Junie.
Yes, Malaysia is my second home. This is when I moved to Malaysia 2002 after I stopped playing. And after this, slowly, when I met Junie, we were traveling everywhere after this around the world. We got Luka, but Malaysia will always be our base, and this is basically my second home. Lucky that wherever I work, they travel with me until last 2 years because of COVID. Here, everything was like full lockdown, which in Europe, in Croatia, was still open. So they moved there, and now Luka refused to come back. He's playing football there. He's enjoying maybe in Croatia, and maybe he's more comfortable to go alone in the school, using scooters sometimes when it's good weather. So he's enjoying that. He doesn't want to come back. So now Junie is with him, and it's a little bit difficult now, but we are traveling there, coming here during the summer. I will go back after the league finish during Christmas, so we are used to this.
Nice. It's hard being away from your family, especially when she's in your home country and you are in her home country. But like we said before, you met Junie in Malaysia. You spent a lot of time there. Obviously, you're coaching there now as well. Obviously, you do know how to speak a bit of Malay and Bahasa, right? I'm sure. Right?
But you know what is the issue? I understand quite a lot when two people talking Bahasa. Sometimes I understand my players, but only thing is in football, I can give instruction in Bahasa, but problem is sometimes when you need to tell players very specific details, then this is too complicated for me, and then I will use somebody to translate. The other thing is, especially in the bigger cities like KL, all players speaking English, so there was never an issue. So little bit English, little bit Bahasa, but instructions are there, and what you need, Bahasa that you need here is always, I think, enough is few words, and everybody understand everything.
Yeah, well, let's. I still remember how to speak Bahasa, so let's have a conversation to see if it works. Huh? Come on, bro. I'm sure they go up to you. They say, "Oh, boss, apa khabar? Coach, apa khabar?"
But this is the simple thing, kappa bike, all these things, kanan kiri. When you giving instruction in the game, like keep the ball, mind dulu, the things like this. This all players understand. So I think that this is enough, But for serious conversation, it's better. More safe is English. That I don't say something wrong.
So you just know that our Bahasa is not so deep because Boy and I just tried to say a few words. All we said was in Bahasa was apa khabar, how are you? And then all Boy I said was kiri kanan, which is left or right. That's it. That's all you need to know.
It was more complicated in Kelantan because they have this different language. So there was funny thing. One time we went in Concord Hotel in Shah Alam, and I asked them because I want to inform the family where we will stay. They told me Concord Chalet. So I was thinking, which Concord is that? Because I know Concord Kuala Lumpur. Then only after a few seconds, my brain was working. Shah Alam is chalet.
So they call that chalet.
Yeah. So this was funny thing. Then when Luka went to Kindi there, we went to Croatia for holiday. Then one moment he was hungry, so he asked my wife, "Mama, can I make?" Makan was
makan, yeah, make.
So it was funny things sometimes, along the way.
It's truly international. So to all our viewers not from Malaysia, so Kelantan is one of the most northern most states and is borders Thailand. So they speak Malay as well, but different, very heavy accent and different words as well. So that's why it's basically really different from KL, the capital city, and Kelantan, which is the city there, Kota Baru. So it's just really different accents and different ways of how they say certain words. Now, Bojan, so we talked about Juni, but Luka as well. What was your childhood like growing up in Croatia?
I think happy. All that time there was no, like today, iPads. There was nice photo.
That is not you. That is not you. That's like, a really kind looking face. Someone is not going to shout at you.
A little bit chubby.
Yeah. Innocent eyes. It's like, what happened? But you know what? That is exactly like you. Looking at that picture, like, that's Bojan, that's you.
Yeah, even I don't believe.
So it was just an idyllic, lovely childhood back there. No pressure to do anything else. You could just be a kid.
Yeah, you can go to school. You are playing non-stop 24 hours on your mind is only how to play. And then that time, of course, that there was no iPads and the other games, so you were non-stop outdoor. So today, parents pushing kids to go out from the house. That time, actually, parents were shouting to call you back home because you were non-stop out. So I think that maybe this was lucky, one lucky generation.
Yeah, it's very apparent as well because I have kids as well, and they're not so bad. They like to go outdoors and things like that, but it's different. So my middle son, I mean, he likes sport, but if you say just be in front of the TV or an iPad or a computer, he'd be like, yeah, okay, I don't have to go out, and that's fine. And then coming back to Luka, so we know he's in Croatia now. We know he plays football. Is there any pressure, or do you want him to follow in your footsteps, like to try to come?
No? I always said I want him to be pilot or doctor. Especially in Malaysia, need specialists for ACL injuries. So
that's very specific.
But he wants. At the moment, he's playing football. He's enjoying. He's a little bit smaller size. He didn't start growing yet compared to European boys. So he found it tough there, but at the end, he still want to play. So this is his choice. For me, we are just giving him chance to enjoy there, enjoy life, play football there, and it's fine.
Nice.
No
Does
pressure.
he has he ever expressed taking up football more seriously, or he just enjoys being in this competitive environment at the moment, or has he ever expressed anything about being professional?
I think that all kids, all boys that playing football have dream to be one day pro.
Yep.
So I know how this is difficult, and I know that in every generation, basically, it's only one player maybe in generation will sign in top clubs as pro footballer. Means that from all kids, less than 0.1% become professional footballers. So it's not easy, but everybody have dreams, so let him have his dreams. Let him. I can just support him as much as I can, but I don't want to push him. So we will see. Up to him.
Yeah, no, that's a really good way to show your support, right? Even though this is your career, you know professional football by heart in terms of being a player, being a coach, but you just want to be there to support because, like you say, the chances of making it is just not everybody
Very
could be
small.
a Messi or Ronaldo or whatever, just so small.
Yeah.
Okay, Boyan, now it's time when we go to the part of the show where we want you to show us 2 or 3 things from your career that you're really proud of. And we know that you've won a lot of tournaments and championships in your time. So if you could pick 2 or 3 items about your work, about your career, what would you
About,
show us? Yeah.
I will show you because you told me this before that something, and this is the medal from Malaysia Cup last year because this is the only one that I have here in KL. The rest
Yep.
are in the house in Penang, and this is the AFC Cup. This is
Yep.
few days ago.
So that's the
Definitely,
runner-up that we talk about. Yeah.
yeah. The you can see that it's written a runner-up.
Nice.
This is the worst one, and the last game we got nice present. Actually, Luka will like this present. We got it from the fans.
Nice. KL, Kuala Lumpur. So
Yeah,
the ultras are the like the group of main fans for KLFC.
yeah. They are the guys that last year when I joined the club in January, we have let's say 200 fans, and but there was 30, 40 of these guys that will following us everywhere.
Wow.
And then we have 50 of them in Vietnam for the match versus Vitel that we won. And then suddenly, this final game, we have 30,000 people at the stadium. So
Oh
it's
wow.
this city, this club can have good future because in Kuala Lumpur there is no really top club. So Kuala Lumpur City can be top club. There are interest. People love football, but they need to have results continuously for a years because for 20, 30 years there was nothing happening. Club
Yeah.
without results that were going second division, third division, second division, coming back to first, survive maybe one season or maximum two, and then go down. So of
Yeah.
course the fans are frustrated with that, but these last 2 years is dream for them. So they deserve better, and we will see what will happen.
Yeah. I mean, you've given the city hope and the club hope as well. I mean, just to put in context that just making the final of the AFC Cup is amazing. But last year you won the Malaysia Cup, which is something KL used to win back in the 80s with Fandi Ahmad and everything. Everyone else that we have is Shabi Singh. But you actually, you guys won the Malaysia Cup, which is just one of the highest honors in Malaysian football. So 2 years, it's amazing. In 2 years, what you've achieved.
Yeah, and we finished 2006 in the league, which was the highest achievement in 20 years of Super League. And there was some other achievements, but overall for the team, our budget is bottom three. So overall, with this budget to do all of this is really amazing.
Bottom three of the whole league. That's your budget, the size of your
Yes,
budget.
yes.
Wow. Wow, makes your achievement even more amazing. Mate, really proud of you. Well done, mate. So going to move along, and we know this is the sports edition. Normally on our Dear Future Grandkids show, we normally get our guests to show us their corner of shame. And I know that Boyan has no shame, but because it's the sports edition, I'm going to ask you what's in your work bag.
My
So
work
you're a
bag.
coach, yeah. What do you bring to work, right? So you
My
don't work
work
in an office per se. So what do you bring? What's in your work bag?
Okay, my work bag is first thing is this is training. Like this morning we are training, and this is reminder of the what to do. Players that I'm using on training for every exercise, reminded who will do which exercise and things like that.
Okay. So all your
Um,
tactics and everything, your sheet, you got your sheet, yeah?
yeah, preparation for training. Then you have whiteboard, and many times uh, they give you whiteboard markers, but I always have one extra set with
Yeah.
me because you never know. Because sometimes you are traveling, they forget. Sometimes hotel never give you, but this is
Okay.
always in my bag. Um, what
Nice.
else I have? I have stopwatch, and this stopwatch is with me for 20 years from first day when I start coaching. This is really good. Casio is a really good stopwatch because I throw this million times when I was nervous. I was trying to hit the few players but couldn't reach on the field. So it's interesting, and this watch survive everything. Whistle. This is most important thing for every coach.
Yeah.
Instead of screaming and shouting that we normally do, sometimes whistle will do magic.
I got to stop you there. I'm most impressed because, I mean, you've coached for 20 years and you move all around the world. And obviously, with technology, there's a lot of better stopwatches now. You're still using the same stopwatch and you've had it for 20 years. How has it not been broken, or how have you not lost it?
This is what I said is quality, because I was throwing this so many times on the grass, and it still survives. So it must be really quality. Now, only thing is I forgot to change the battery because it's not working. A few days ago, it stopped working, so I need just to change the battery. So it's interesting, but from the first day, I have this stopwatch, and it was following me. So now it's sentimental value for me.
Nice, nice, mate. Thank you for showing us the content in your back. Have you got more, or what
No,
else do you bring to work? Yeah.
I have this bag have lots of small pockets. So, for example, you see the for the sore throat, because non-stop I'm shouting. I need to have medicine for that. I have extra battery for the phone. I think that this one
Yeah.
everybody has it. So this is something that I need to have always ready, because sometimes I forget to charge my phone. And mostly that's it. The other things I have. This is family pass for the game. So
Okay.
if you want to come for a game, I will give it to you.
Thank
And
you.
that's it. Mostly that's it. And I have rain jacket, which is part of. In Malaysia, you need to have the rain jacket always,
Yeah. It rains all the
because
time.
especially now it's rainy season, and basically every day afternoon you will have raining. So to be honest, last 2 weeks we train mostly in the morning because of that. So this is part of my back. That's it.
Nice. Nice. Thank you, Boyan. That's a nice football knapsack with KL City, the logo.
Yeah,
So it's interesting. Thank you for showing that to us. So team sheets, tactic sheets, lots of markers, a 20-year stopwatch, strepsils for your throat, battery pack, a rain jacket, and that's all you need to become a Boyan Hodak.
yeah, and boots, but boots are now drying somewhere outside. So because
Boots,
of
it's
the rain.
important. Now,
Yeah.
Boyan, we know you've been so successful in your playing, and your definitely your coaching career as well. And then let's just now find out what makes you work. What Let's get to some insights in terms of your coaching career. So let's play a scenario here. You've now taken over a new team. It's your first day at work. You meet the players. What do you tell them? What's the first thing that you tell all your players when you see them, when you're in charge for the first time? What do you tell them?
Normally, I will just introduce myself, and I will talk more about the way I work. But normally, these meetings are always short. I will ask them what I need from them or what I want from them. So normally, I will ask them to be honest, because when they are honest, even when they create some trouble, uh, it's always there is a way how you can help them if they are honest. But if they are cheating and you find out then it's a problem for you and for them. I will sometimes ask them interesting question. I will ask them who is smoking in the team to see if they are honest or not. So you can see that then the suddenly heads will look around and to admit or not to admit, but this is immediate body language is telling you lots of things. How when you're talking with kids and you see that they are sometimes lying or they're confused, same thing is in professional team. This is also someone's kids, just slightly older kids.
So you set the tone and just tell everyone that honesty is the best policy. Just be honest with you. It's interesting that you brought up the smoking situation, because we all think that professional athletes should look after their bodies and not, smoke or excessively drink. Is that a problem for your players? Do you say that definitely no smoking, or social smoking, or not during training, not during the season? Do you have rules for that?
There are rules. Look, I cannot control their private life. So if somebody is smoking in private life, I cannot control this, and I cannot force them to stop. I can give them what you said. I can explain to them what is the bad things, what problem smoking can cause for them. But I cannot go with in their house and checking if they're smoking or not. So rules are there are no smoking in the bus, in the dressing room, in hotel where we're staying. What they're doing at home is I really cannot check, but we have certain rules and they need to follow this.
Yeah. So it goes both ways, right? The trust, and also you trust that they'll do the right thing. Now, have you ever lost your temper in a dressing room before? Shouted profanities, throwing water bottles? I mean, doesn't sound like you. Have you ever?
Me, never. Maybe once.
Maybe. Never. Oh, maybe once.
Maybe once. Maybe.
Wow. Well, interesting. You should say that. Let me see whether you have. Maybe we should just play this video and let's have a look.
This will be 5 minutes for us. In the last 5 minutes, we are giving a chance to come back. And we say, don't foul here. Don't do foul. Coach, never said. Don't do foul. Just block. Mark the man. Mark the man means him next to him, man.
Right. So just to give everyone a background, that was a documentary on Astro Arena, which is a cable platform back in Malaysia. And that was a documentary where they followed KLFC for part of the season, and behind the scenes, sort of what makes it happen. And a lot of beeps there because Bojan was just, it just hurt the microphone. Not that he was swearing or anything else, but what happened there, Bojan? And you said you never lose your temper or anything else, but what happened?
I said maybe once.
And so happened the cameras were there to capture that.
But they made some mistake in the first half, and they were repeating this mistake. So I just showed them what they shouldn't do, and then second half we went out and we won 2-0. Means it's nice words opening all doors.
So honestly, you just felt at the time that you were mad they could do better, because that's not. I mean, you don't really do that every halftime, right? Or if your team's down, you don't really shout or throw bottles or anything.
I don't think that this happened, and maybe this happened once or twice in a year, depends, But this was the situation where we have these two guys from Astro Arena that were following us for documentary non-stop, and they were putting cameras everywhere. But you don't think, when you are in the dressing room, you don't think about these cameras. But the only thing is, for them, it was very interesting. And I know that this clip actually had a million views, that people enjoying to see this. But actually, it's in other 35 or 40 matches, I was talking normally. But for them, this is very interesting because it's slightly different,
Yeah.
So, but for me, at the end, if you want to win, how you will win, nice way, the other way, there is always the way.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take it as face value, as you don't do this very often, but yeah. So we got one of our regular viewers, Bree, who watches the show and says, I don't believe him for a second. I remember those sweets from his bag. So Bree knows there's a reason why he's in there, because maybe a bit of shouting happens in the dressing room, maybe. And during the documentary, just happened to be there at the right time just to capture that. You're busted, Boyan. You're busted. Now, Boyan, I mean, this show is about imparting knowledge, and especially even about your chosen sport, football. Are there any transferable skills from football into life in general, according to you?
I think yes, actually, whenever in one dressing room you have 25 to 30 players, and then you can sometimes see things who is leader. You can see things who cannot cope with the pressure, with stress. You can see things who will be small cheater, who will cheat to win. You can see the guys that are always cheeky and that are good for the atmosphere in the dressing room. So basically, for me, this is the same thing. These people will be they were in school. If somebody is trouble in school, he will be trouble in the dressing room also. So this is, at the end, it's a reflection. Football dressing room is actually a reflection of the life also, because you can see somebody who is working in a football club, in a football dressing room, in one group, one way he will work the same way in office, in some big company with lots of people. So that's the reason for me. I'm always looking football that way, and football is basically a life in a small area.
Yeah, just like microcosm, just basically it's life, but now you just have 25, 30 people, and it just reflects that. And that's a really good way of looking at it. And no, I do agree with you, because you need different characters in the dressing room, right? You need the leader, you need the cheeky one as well, to to bring everyone together, to lighten up the atmosphere as well. No, you're absolutely right, because not only does that happen in the football team, when you're presenting with your crew or even in the office environment and everything else, you kind of like need a mix. Now, what sort of lessons have your players learned from you? I know that you have like a sort of unwritten rule that if someone is late for training, you make them buy breakfast for the whole team.
Yeah, this one you can ask. The best example will be my CEO, because he was my player before, and until today he was telling a story that he was late only once. Because when he went to pay breakfast, you know how is you have 30, 40 people there, plus the older players will take bunkus for their families, take away drinks and food for their family. So the guy pay actually good money. And I think that until today, Stanley was telling to everybody that he never do this again. There was only one time he was late. But thing is that, for me, this is more also, if you are late for training, means that you are not focused, means that you will be late in the game for tackle, and we will concede goal. So if we concede goal, we will not receive our bonuses, we will not receive our medals, we will not receive the rewards for that. So it's things you need to be on time. So the best thing in professional football to teach them to be on time is to cut from the salary, because nobody likes to spend money. So once when they pay breakfast, then actually it's good, because they are paying breakfast for a team. So this is good for team spirit. So at the end, they learn very fast. You will be surprised.
That's a really good lesson. That's a really good lesson as well. I like how you just dialed it down to go that you be punctual, be on time. If you're not in time for training, then you're right. You're late for everything, right? A late tackle could be the difference between you winning or losing. But I'm going to throw this back at you. Have you ever been late?
Yes, once, and there was a game.
Always once, Boyan. Yeah, everything is always once.
Yeah, but it's true, really. All these years, it was only once, and it was. I remember Selangor play my team, and I was late for the bus because there was some things happening in front of Bukit Jalil Stadium, and we were going from MSN, and there was so many cars, and I was waiting like more than 40 minutes. So of course, when I entered the bus, the players were fine. So I also need to pay my breakfast, a few days after that. But this was the only situation.
So was the breakfast a little bit more elevated instead of going to a normal, place, or did you go to a 5-star hotel for breakfast for the team?
We went to the same place, but the guys were. I think I didn't see the bill at the end. I was just paying. I didn't want, actually. I was angry why I was late, but this is This is normal part. So if you make mistake, also need to pay.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And I think also being your friend, I do remember as well, whenever we make plans to meet up for a drink and whoever's late, the last person just pays, right? Simple.
Always true.
You late, you pay. Hey Bojan, time passes so fast. It's been fantastic having you on the show. What I love about Dear Future Grandkids is just reconnecting with old friends. I know we keep in touch on Facebook and everything else, and a few text messages here again. I think I last saw you like 5-6 years ago when you and Junie and Luka was in Singapore. But so glad to have a chat with you. So glad to learn more about you and your coaching career and all your successes as well. So unfortunately, we're going to close the show, close this time capsule. But before you go, you get to leave a message, not just for your future grandkids, but also for, the dear future footballers and coach, because this is the sports edition. What would you like to say to them?
I think that in my experience in football is that not the most talented are the one that have success, but most hardworking. So, dear future grandkids, if you want to be top footballers, top athletes, hard work beat talent. So try to be hardworking. Try to put extra effort in everything, because this can make the difference at the end in top sport. And follow your dreams if you can.
That is amazing advice, and it really cuts through everything as well, not just sport, right? So, I mean, you could be talented and that can really help you, but if you don't put in the hard work, you're just not going to make it.
It's a mix of everything, but in experience, my experience, the boys that are the most talented when they were young, at the end they stop playing football. They never achieve anything because they were always a little bit lazy because of talent. But then once you come to pro level, most of them were out. And the guys that actually signed were the ones that were working really hard.
Yeah. And I tell you what, Bojan, it's so many lessons you've given already. And Bree and Kawaii Donna, one of our regular viewers as well, she's learned this now. She says, and also, don't be late. Don't be late. Don't be late. Oh, Bojan, fantastic, mate. Thank you so much for being on the show. And thank you to all of you for watching Dear Future Grandkids, the sports edition. I have been Jien. And once again, thank you to my really good friend and guest, Bojan. It's been fantastic having you on the show. All the best for the rest of the season, the Malaysia Cup. And remember, nobody who ever gave his best regretted it. Agree with that, Bojan?
Thanks, Jien. Yes, I agree completely. Thanks to invite me for this show, and I enjoy this time with you. It was really quickly, you see, already 40 minutes, but you have feeling that was only 4 minutes.
Oh, boy, fantastic. Take care, mate. Thank you so much. And to everyone watching, thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. We'll see you the next time. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.